blade that I just finished. I'll show you this one right here. And we are going to be making this so that we can send it to our customer. Pretty good. So I got my wood. Stay. Actually, I'm going to put that somewhere safe. Okay. Now, bear in mind, I'm new to the whole scabbard. Sorry, live thing. So I thought a scabbard would be a good opportunity to work on it. Ignore my pile of dishes. So what I've got is the basic shape worked out, and then I routed close to the end, and now we're getting right about there, getting to the tip. But I got chisels for that bit because it's a bit dicey. So I just thought I'd give you a little preview of some of the methodology behind the scabbard work so that when you see it later, you have a good idea of what's to come or how it was put together. So we got that. And once we shape it, and do a test fit on the blade, then we'll take another half, we'll clamp it together, we'll glue it up, leave it overnight. And then the next day, we'll come and we'll shape it and get it nice and smooth, nice and clean. And sometimes what I like to do is put a little groove where I want the belt assembly to go. It just kind of helps it seat it better. And then once it's all shaped, then we go and we're going to leather wrap it. So we got this nice piece of blue leather to match the handle, whole hilt assembly. And then that'll give it a really, really nice look. So we're going to have a smooth fit, a nice look. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set you up and show you a little bit of the methodology. So turn this around, and nice rainy day here in Alaska. Oh, yes. Now you're in a tripod. Buckle up. This is probably a terrible way to do live videos, but this is what it's like here at Barrett Knives. So, got the basic shape worked out. I like to put a little bit of a larger piece on the end there just so that the tip doesn't get caught quite as easily, and it'll slide in and have a nice good friction fit. So I usually clamp it down a little bit just so it doesn't slide around on me too much. And once we pocket out this whole bit, then from there I can then take measurements and mark along where I want it to be, the outline. So before I sandwich the other piece, I'll completely profile this side so that then afterward, I know exactly how far in I can go. But the blade, if you saw, is a bit of a leaf shape. So what we're going to do is we got a little bit of the swell here. So the line comes in and then flares out again. So for that piece, we're going to have to straighten it because otherwise the swelled part isn't going to be able to fit through it. So I take my various sizes of chisels. I make sure they're got a nice, clean, fresh edge. Ta-ta. And then since I routed it, it gives me pretty close. I don't want to go all the way to it though, because the router can get a little hairy and travel. So then I'll come and I'll take the flat and I'll line it up like this. If I were to do it like this, then because of the chisel bit, it would kick out a little bit. So instead, I want as parallel as I can get it. And because this is a wood chisel with a little copper collar, I'm not just going to use a hammer. I like to use, a little rubber mallet. And because I have it cut out here, all I'm doing, here's my big boy. All I'm doing is bringing it up a little bit shy of the line, just so that I have more wiggle room. I give it a couple taps, and then I just follow that shape along. And then once I get all the way down, then I come in and I can use maybe a little more nimble one, and I'll just clean it up like that. But right now it's snagging. And then I can take the blade itself and test fit it. So I suppose, let's see, That's right. We have commenters. Hello. As I mentioned, I'm new to the whole live thing. So I'm going to do my best to check comments as we do a little bit of work here. I'll try not to be too boring, but you got questions? Yeah, comments? You want to know how something's done? Let me know. And you get to be a part of this beautiful sound, sarcasm. And then a little sneak peek of all the work that's getting done. You know what I mean? Now I'll tell you a little bit about the sword while I'm working on it. There we go. See, then we can come in like this. I'm not going quite deep enough. And I need to sharpen a little bit because there's little fibers there in the way. But anyway, we can fix that. I'll tell you a little bit about the sword, which is the thumbnail. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail, but it is a 5160 steel, which is really nice because that's spring steel. And spring steel, some of the various elements in it are nice and flexible, which makes it very, very good for long blades. You know, like a 1095, like let's just say this blank here. A 1095 is a very good steel and it's great for, you can make a sword out of it, absolutely. But what I try to do is try to have the best steel for the best type of project, type of blade. So for swords, flexible blades like that, I want it to be 5160. It just has a lot of flex while still coming back true. This is pretty, I don't know. I find this pretty interesting and pretty satisfying, but I can understand how it might be a little boring to watch. But anyway, that sword in the thumbnail is based on Gandalf's sword from Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you guys are a fan of that at all, but I am, and I always have been. So when my customer came to me to talk to me about it, and he said, I want something that looks like this. And he sent me a sketch of what he meant. And I said, that kind of looks like glamdring. And he was pretty happy that I said that because sure enough, that's what it was based on. So we got the same blue leather, same blue, um, pretty close to the same blue at least. Not exactly, but I got it pretty close and I'm proud of that. Sorry. I'm gonna try to do less hammering on camera because it's pretty loud. But anyway, um, so then when I was designing it, taking it from his sketch and then designing it, I got kind of caught up in it and I started sketching out glamdring. And I I had to catch myself. I'm like, wait, this isn't actually glamdring. It's just very similar to glamdring. So the blade is pretty much a one-for-one copy. Look at that. Now it just peels back. I like that feeling quite a bit. Make sure the whole way's on camera. Good. There's a little divot here to help me remember. I'm flaring it out a little bit because of that leaf shape. But right now, I'm just worried about roughing it in. And it's got like an interesting guard assembly too. So up here, you can kind of see it on camera. Up here, I gotta compensate for that. So it will be difficult, You line it all up before you piece it together. Because once you piece it together, it's much more difficult to be able to handle that. Do any adjustments to it afterwards. So, other than up on the tip here, I'll show you. Up here, this is all pretty thick. That's going to take a lot of hammering. I don't want to do that on camera. I don't want to do that to you guys. It's a little too loud. So I'll take a break there. But I will highlight for you now fitting the blade to it. And then I'll probably wrap up there. So, get this all cleaned out. it's going to fit pretty well. But you see I have it super close. But it's not going to fit here. So what I do is I take the widest part of the blade and then I just mark it. It needs to remain this thickness all along. The whole length. See, right there in the middle. In order for it to compensate for that swell. And then how do we keep it fitting well and not rattling around a lot? It all comes to right up here. Come down there. We're going to cut it so that the blade assembly, the guard, slides nice and neat into it. So here's a pinch point, and down at the tip is a pinch point. That's what's going to make this nice, secure fit. There we go, put this back. So now what I do, I got my marks as to how wide it has to be. So this side's already there. So all I gotta do is line it up and make it a little bit shy of the line because of the thickness of the Sharpie. Right there, lines right up. And then we just sort of chase that. There. And remember, we're going to chisel just shy. So I don't necessarily want to hit this line. It's not super important, but I want to make sure it's as good of a fit as possible. Now, because this is on the other side, I'm going to go just over the line and then line these two up because we are trying to fit to this side, to the interior of the scabbard. So we'll scooch this a little closer. We'll scooch this a little closer, weight it down, make our mark, and then it kind of just fits there. So I had a little uneven with the router bit, but that's okay. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop the video here just because it's going to be loud doing a lot of hammering, but stay tuned. We got a lot of cool stuff on this build coming up. Monday it releases. I think you're going to like it. Please subscribe if you want to watch the build of that sword you saw in the